Thanks for watching, and in this video we'll be talking about home remedies for yeast infections. Now, there are quite a few different purported home remedies for yeast infections that you can find online. And generally, I would assume most of them would be pretty decent. But the typical go-to remedies that often work really well are things like essential oils, herbs, and other antifungal mediums such as coconut oil, honey, even aloe vera. But a very popular home remedy for yeast infections, especially for women, is to stop wearing synthetic or tight-fitting underwear or pants in an effort to reduce the amount of moisture and heat in the vagina. And because yeast prefer a more moist environment, this can possibly reduce the amount of yeast infections a woman or even a man will develop. A 1990 study published in the American Journal of Public Health looked at how wearing various types of underwear would impact the rate of vaginal yeast infections. The study found that women who wore a variety of underwear fabrics had not much difference in their rate of developing yeast infections compared to those women who wore synthetic fabrics for their underwear. And surprisingly, the study found that women who wore tight clothing did not have an increased risk of developing a yeast infection. The study found that women who used tampons had about a 20% increased risk of developing a yeast infection. And the study found that women who always used colored toilet paper had about a 31% increased chance of developing a yeast infection. And being constipated increased these women's chances of having a yeast infection by about 26%. Another study published in 1983 in the American Journal of Public Health looked at 160 different women. Half of these women wore tight clothing 80% of the time or more, and the other half wore loose clothing 80% of the time or more, and none of these women were obese. The study found that women who wore the tight clothing had a significantly higher amount of colony-forming units of Candida in their vaginal fluid. So on the one hand, we have the first study that says tight clothing doesn't make so much of a difference in your chances of getting a yeast infection, and the last study that says tight clothing does have an impact on how much Candida will be in the vagina. Now, one likely cause for this apparent discrepancy is the first study was probably done at the University of Michigan, and the latter study was done in Nigeria. Now, Nigeria is known for having a much more tropical, hotter climate, and the University of Michigan, this study may have been done there during winter. So it is possible that the environment of these two studies differed, and thus that is the reason why there's somewhat of a discrepancy. So a good course of action is, if you're in a hot or humid climate, you should probably try to opt for more loose clothing that allows for heat to escape as well, such as a light cotton underwear or a skirt, etc. Now, another common home remedy for yeast infection is the use of probiotic bacteria. A study that talked about probiotics and their influence on the amount of Candida in the body was published in 1999 in the International Dairy Journal. The study related that a human trial conducted in 1983 found that milk with Lactobacillus acidophilus and bifidobacterium could significantly reduce the presence of Candida throughout the gut. The study states that using antibiotic medication is often a key reason why Candida gains a foothold in the gut and spreads throughout the intestines. There are a few different ways probiotics probably improve or ameliorate your health. Some of these ways include Number one, they compete for binding sites and resources. And of course, binding sites are just areas for these bacteria to attach and become more persistent in the gut or, say, the vagina. Secondly, they can stimulate the immune system. Third, they can produce antimicrobial substances. And fourth, they can reduce the creation of toxic chemicals. So whatever home remedy you're thinking about using, try to incorporate some type of probiotic bacteria, either taking it orally or, say, inserting it directly into the vagina. That would be a great addition to probably any home remedy for yeast infections. Now, it is true there are a lot of other home remedies for Candida, and if we included them all in this video, this would be probably a very lengthy video. So a few offhand that we won't really discuss too much include good mediums for, say, essential oils such as coconut oil or honey or even aloe vera. All three of these substances can put a stop to yeast infections and can greatly help get rid of all types of Candida attacks. And a key thing you'd want to do if you use, say, honey or coconut oil for a yeast infection treatment is to add antifungal herbs like cinnamon or natural antifungal essential oils such as tea tree oil to the honey or the coconut oil. This should help provide an even more effective natural remedy and could easily reduce the amount of time it will take for you to get completely healed of a yeast infection. And Candida Hub has a lot of information about various topics such as honey, coconut oil, aloe vera, and essential oils. So if you'd have some time and you'd like to find out more, you can come to our website and check it out. We have a helpful search box at the top of each page, and you can just type in your query and hopefully find a lot of answers. After you do some research, you should be able to put together a very potent, effective home remedy for yeast infections. It'll just take a few moments of your time, and of course you'll probably have to buy some of these natural items at the store or online. Lastly, if you'd like to find out about how to naturally get rid of a yeast infection in about 12 hours time, you can find out more about this on the page linked below on Candida Hub. And this system that we talk about is guaranteed to get rid of, say, a oral or genital yeast infection in just 12 hours time naturally. It's very safe and easy to use. And if you have some time, you might be interested in learning a little bit more about this. Okay, hey, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys get better very soon, and I'll see you later.